Hi, this is Angela Lester with xtol.com, here with Winston Warrior, who has
Yes,
agreed to sit down and talk to us for a bit. How are you doing, Winston?
I'm doing well, Angela. How you doing?
I am fantastic. Let's start by talking a bit about your background.
Okay.
Have you always lived in Atlanta?
I'm born and raised, and
Okay,
I'm a native of the A, absolutely. And I spent 10 years down in Miami.
okay,
Went to the University of Miami, so 10 years in Miami, then back to Atlanta.
okay. I love Atlanta, and it's
It's
such a
it's
great
yeah,
town for music. you know.
absolutely. Music, the food, the people.
hmm
It's home. So
Okay. So your home's Atlanta. When did you realize that music and singing were your passion?
I I can't remember it not being my passion, which is
Okay.
what typically says, but I can't remember it not being. Um,
Mhm.
it became a passion for me to really try to pursue it as a career when I came to the University of Miami. Um,
Mhm.
but it's always been a part of my life.
It's always been a part of your life.
Yeah.
Were you influenced by anybody in particular?
The writing styles, I would say I was influenced by the folks back in the day, the one name wonders is what I call them. Teddy and Luther and Johnny and Stevie and Michael. Their sensibility and the simplistic way that they explain things, influenced how I write. Um, so yeah, I would say those guys.
Okay. Well, you mentioned that you were at the University of Miami,
Yes, the
and I
U
know.
in the building.
Hmm.
I said the U is in the building.
You was in the building.
That's right, the
okay.
U.
The U. Alrighty then.
yes, yes, yes,
and that was in the '90s. You were part of an all male group,
yes.
and from reading your bio, it wasn't the greatest experience for you. Um, but what did you learn from it?
Oh man, so much I learned so little time, but I would say the main thing is that it's important that as well people as artists should know the business and should be on top of that and not be blinded just by the velvet rope and all the
Mhm.
trappings of music. Um,
Right.
because we were blinded by the VIP and all the ladies that were around and
Mhm.
our rider with the Cavassier and the chicken wings and the stupidness.
yeah.
But all along we didn't own anything, didn't own a song. Just it was yeah. So that would be the thing that I would say to people: just learn the business,
Mhm.
and it taught me
And,
that.
okay. And I believe you left the music business for a while and
Yes.
became a successful corporate marketing executive.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Was that was you, was marketing your major in college
Yes,
or
it was.
okay.
Yeah, and
Well,
I
what
have
made
my MBA as well. So
Oh, okay. I'm scared of you.
you know what I'm saying? Be afraid now. Come on.
I'm scared of you because Lord knows I'm never going to finish mine at the rate I'm going.
Yes, you are. No, you're gonna finish. Let's not claim it. You're gonna finish.
okay, I'm claiming that.
That's
And
right.
what made you decide to return to music?
It just kept calling me, Angela. It kept saying, it just kept appearing. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
and there was an incident, that I talk about where, a friend of mine died suddenly. She was a tennis um, a facility manager, and she died suddenly. I saw her on like on a Wednesday, and on that Friday, she, dropped dead at home. You know what I mean? And one of my really good friends was like, "Yo, bro, you need to sing at the memorial service." And I was like, "Nah, all the insecurities from, not making it with the group came up." And he was like, "Man, look at Sharon. If not now, then when? When will you use your gift? This doesn't make any sense." And that jarred me into reality and say, you know what, I need to go after this while I'm still healthy, still young, still have a voice. And that was the tipping point for me.
Okay. What did you bring from the corporate world back to the music world?
One, the business, understanding the business and asking questions and not being BS. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm.
And I have, my own label, so I'm on my own label, and I co-write everything, except one song in this new album, but pretty much I co-write everything. And I have that business savvy about myself, so I ask questions, and people look at me like, okay, so when do we get to meet the artist? I was like, I am the artist. And they're like, wow, this is kind of weird. I'm like, yeah, I know my business. You know what I mean? That's one.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing is that being a marketing executive, all the marketing that you see in terms of, my logo and the website and all the creative things, I have my hand in that too. I said, hey, I was successfully marketing other people's stuff, then I can market my own stuff. You know what I mean? So it was very helpful.
Okay. Yeah, I really do enjoy your website. By the way, it's inclusive. It feels like, and looking at your vlogs and you talking about, what's going on with your album and inviting people to participate. It's really cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
I really enjoy that. Now, that was the point, right?
Yeah, that was the goal.
Seriously,
I'm glad you noticed it. Thank you. Yeah.
And your first album was Lifeology 101, and you released that last year.
Yes, April.
Yeah, and you released your sophomore album, Lifeology 101 Back to School, a little bit more than a year later.
Yeah.
Which is really fast in the music business. People come out with an album and it's like 5 years later, we're still waiting.
Exactly.
Did you already have in mind what you wanted to do on your next project?
Yeah, I didn't. I went into 2012 not really knowing, that I was going to do another album so quickly. And I just said, you know what, I need to start recording. You know what I mean? I just wanted to start documenting in song the things that I was feeling and going through. And then the songs kept coming. And then on top of that, I was doing some remixes in the UK with this guy, Dave Doyle, who, was releasing them over there. And I said, I all of a sudden I had an album. I was like, well, what, let me just put it out, because to your point, you'll be waiting. And I said, what, it's no time to wait. I was waiting all these years to come back to the industry, so let's get it out, so. Yeah.
And your album is called Lifeology 101, Back to School. And you mentioned that there were lessons that you needed to learn that sent you back to school.
Yes.
What were those lessons?
Well, one big lesson was around, relationships and people.
Mm-hmm.
I learned a lot from the failed attempt with the group. And the guys and I are still cool to this day. We're like brothers, but it was the people around us, you know what I mean? So I learned that a little bit, but then I had to learn more. Like I thought I knew, but then when I was going through it last year, I found out more. Like people who would drop out of your life because you weren't in the top 10 or the top 20 and they thought they were going to ride your coattails to do something and they were being selfish with it. And when they saw that you weren't as successful as they wanted you to be, then they disappeared. Or people who were your friends and you were like, yo, we're doing this together. And all of a sudden they're like, okay, I need X thousands of dollars for a track. You're like, what are you talking about? I thought we were cool. Stuff like that. So I had to learn that lesson. I also had to learn that it's tough to date when you're in the spotlight, and if you're with somebody who's insecure, ladies can be real crazy when they're insecure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I had to learn that.
I have a few friends that are musicians. I hear that all the time. It's like it's hard dating a musician if you're insecure.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I haven't had the panties thrown under the stage experience yet. You know what I mean? But I've had, people, at the shows, women will come up to me and be like, what room are you in? Or they want to take a picture, and all of a sudden the hands start moving. It's crazy, like, for real.
Wow.
And so if you have, your young lady with you, she about ready to fight.
Exactly.
And I'm like, this is my job. You can't do. It's just a fantasy. I'm not going to take her back to the room. You know what I'm saying? You with me, but that, it's I don't know.
It's hard. Yeah. Well, Lifeology 101 Back to School is full of love and intimacy, rather.
Yes.
Is this a reflection of who you are as Winston Warrior?
Absolutely. I'm an incurable romantic. You know what I'm saying? Love is the thing I really love to sing about most. And the first album was just, kind of all of my facets. You know what I mean? The Keep Moving and Bad for You and fragile. I mean, it's just this album was more targeted around the actual love and that kind of dude I am. So yeah, it's more reflective of that.
Okay. And on your website, your album is described as a punchy collection of flashcards. what
Yes.
is, what does that mean?
It just means, when you go, it's the play on words about going to school, and it's like, for fellas especially, I'm providing you with these flashcards, these cheat sheets, these cliff notes that you can use,
Mhm.
to say you're sorry or to apologize for something that you did, because we're always doing something, or to help you communicate. So flashcards are those things you study, so I was
Yeah.
playing on those words and said, a lot of the songs are really to trying to help guys to communicate better.
Okay. Elevator. I can't
Yes.
get that song out of my mind.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, thank you.
I was like, it's gonna be. I'm gonna wake up in the morning. It's gonna be on my mind again. So, you elevator remixes appear about 3 times on your latest album,
Yes.
and I love all the remixes. But
Oh, thank you.
what were you trying to accomplish by doing that? Was each remix have a different purpose, or did the album just sound so
Absolutely.
good?
Well, it's so funny. Like, the the original version is on
Mhm.
the first album,
Right.
and a lot of people said, we love this. Why don't you release it? But I felt like I wanted to update the sounds a little bit and have it just to be a little bit more nasty. You know what I'm saying? A little bit more gutter in terms of the bass, because I really
Mhm.
felt like it didn't have that bass that it needed. That kick. And the producer that did that said, what? I got another idea too. Let me shoot it to you. And that was the trap version.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, now that'll get people moving, right? I mean, then my guy Dave Doyle that I mentioned earlier, he said, "Oh, I love Elevator. Let me do a remix to it." And I'm like, "All right, cool." So then, of course, I got this UK soul house mix, which is dope.
Mhm.
And I was like, you know what? I got my own label. I'm gonna put all of them on there because it's my
You can do
decision.
that.
You know what I mean?
That's
Because I
right.
can do it. It's my decision. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's why. And unfortunately, a lot of people have been saying, I love all three, or I love this one, but I'm not sure which one I like the best. I mean, it's the response has been good, and I'm like, well, when you control your music, you can do what you want to do, really.
Mhm. Mhm. Now I saw the video for Elevator. Was that from the first um album, or was it from the second one?
Yeah, that video is from the second one. It's from the intimate mix with the extra
Okay.
bass. Yeah.
Okay. Really nice video.
Thank you.
Nice
Thank you.
video. Yeah. Now, switching gears a little bit, we are
Okay.
a Neoso lifestyle magazine, so
Okay.
we're really interested in what artists like to do for fun. Are
All
there
right.
any special places you like to travel, or do you have any special hobbies?
I like to travel to Miami. I'm a big time. Actually, I'm talking to you from Miami.
Oh, okay.
It is it is homecoming this weekend, and I'm on the Alumni Association, the board of directors for the Alumni Association for the University of Miami. So we're here, not only celebrating homecoming, but meeting during our annual fall meeting. And
Mhm.
so I love to come to Miami. It's like my second home. And then I love playing tennis. I'm a
Okay.
avid tennis player. I'm not that great. I mean, I'm average, but I love the sport, and I'm on like 4 different teams and leagues. Atlanta's a big tennis town,
Okay.
so I do that. And what else? I like to go to the movies, and I like to go to the movies, believe it or not, Angela, by myself during the middle of the day when nobody's in there.
Oh, I'm the same way. I'm the same
Isn't
way.
that dope? It's dope.
I am the same way,
You
especially since
already know that,
I work from home and my schedule is pretty much my own. I can do that, and I
right?
do the same thing.
You already know.
Yep.
So
Yep.
those are some of my hobbies, and I mean, it doesn't look like it. Everybody's like, you don't. It doesn't look like it, but I love to eat.
Oh, what do you like to eat?
I love sushi.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love, seafood, fish. And of course, I'm from Atlanta, so I love Southern cooking, and not the fattening Southern cooking. My mom can throw down, so I'm talking about macaroni and cheese, the collard greens with the turkey, not the pork. The dressing, the fried okra, like for real. Oh,
you're making me hungry here.
Yeah, I'm hungry too.
I'm going to go out and find me some dressing, some turkey.
You know what I'm saying? Somewhere. With some gravy, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, well, great. So would you say the phoenix has finally risen from the ashes for you?
Well, I would say that, but what's the beautiful thing about the phoenix is that it's always being reborn.
Right.
And that's why I really chose the symbol. And that's why I kind of talked about, but chose the title Lifeology 101 for my albums until I decide something else. Because it's all about continuously learning and changing and evolving and growing, and so I have come from those bad ashes from back in the day, but to our earlier point, I've had to be reborn again and had to learn and go back to school. So it continuously evolves, but I'm definitely in a better place and grateful that I came back to music for sure.
All right. So what can we expect from you in the future? Are you doing any tours? Is another album in the works?
I'm in the process now of doing a promotional tour, trying to just get out there in front of the people. I hope to go overseas at the beginning of the year. And as long as people keep telling me that my music is inspiring them or they're glad that I'm doing R&B again, then hopefully more music will come.
Okay. And you got to let us know when you're performing. I live in Memphis, so Atlanta's only a few
cool.
hours away from me. So I would definitely love when you're performing in Atlanta to come down and see you. So please let us know.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Well, it has been such a pleasure talking to you. I've learned a lot about you that I didn't know, and I'm sure our listeners are really intrigued. Where can they find your music?
Well, I've made it easy, and this is the other thing, Angela, I meant to say. Winston Warrior is my real name. It is the government name. It's the name when I came out the womb with my mom. It's government name. So when I came out the womb and they slapped me on the booty, my mom and dad said Winston Warrior. So a lot of people think I make it up, made it up, or what does it mean? I'm like, I don't know. It's me because it's, the real name. So with that said, I've made it very easy for people to find me. So my website is winstonwarrior.com. I trademarked my name. The Twitter is Winston Warrior, Facebook Winston Warrior, Instagram Winston Warrior, YouTube Winston Warrior. So it's easy to find me. And the music can be found on iTunes.com, Amazon.com, BestBuy.com, actually, and some local moms and pops because I have a distribution deal. So hopefully it's in a city near you.
Well, I will definitely spread the word. And I was actually, it's so funny because I was thinking that earlier today. I was like, man, he makes it so easy to find him. So, sometimes I have to hunt for artists because I can't figure out. No, I'm talking as far as on the web. I can't figure out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For real? Yeah, that's.
Yeah, they have really different. They're not consistent, between Twitter and Facebook. But I was like, man, Winston Warrior, I can find everything I need. Real quick.
That's what I try to do. That's it. So, it's consistency. That's what builds the brand. That's what. Well, we can go on and on, but I won't. So.
Well, it has been a pleasure talking to you. Hopefully, we're going to have you on the Neo Soul Show, our weekly Blog Talk Radio show, real soon.
Okay.
We will look forward to great things from you. Thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you for having me, Angela.
All right. You've been listening to an interview with Winston Warrior. Please check out his music, his website, winstonwarrior.com. You can find him all over the web. Winston Warrior, everywhere. Okay? All right, thank you. Good.